the refs, the VAR, everything was against us. We still had to score the winner for them in the end. So, listen, I'll take a lot of positives, just as Klopp said. But let me let you start, because obviously they released that statement from the referee association saying that they accept they made a mistake and they didn't check it or whatever. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I'm losing the will to live with football at the minute. I have a lot of discussions with a lot of people on a regular basis about refereeing. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I mean, the game's bordering on being corrupt. How they come out with a statement moments after the game's finished, admitting an error. I mean, what is the whole point of VAR? The whole point of VAR is to alleviate human error. It's a computerized system but I mean...
The problem is, though, the humans are operating it.
And, yeah, absolutely. But
I think they said something interesting. They said they're testing automated system.
What is there? They said that about the World Cup. So it's computerized. A red light or a green light or something.
So the computer, it's like in tennis. In tennis, that when the ball is hit and they check it, it's not a human that draws the line. It is the computer will tell you where the ball landed. Now, if that's wrong, we can accept that. That's a machine doing it.
But that's interesting that Andros Townsend said that they were offered it this season. They said no.
Yeah.
But do you know what? One of the most annoying things about the whole thing is, to the naked eye, you could see that Diaz was onside.
Yeah.
Now, I'm fed up with all the little, every season, by the way, because I think last season or the season before, they were saying that it had to be clear space between the defender and the forward before it was offside. They were going to give the attacker benefit of the doubt, because the season before that, you know, they were like bordering on giving a lot of wrong decisions. And they came out and said, it's got to be clear daylight, whatever they said, for it to be offside. That's gone. That's finished. It's neither here nor now. We're drawing arms, like they said on the telly, under armpits, on the knees, parts of the body you can't score with. But it baffles me. I mean, I watched something online with Andy Gray and Richard Keys, who I can't stand, by the way, but they do that Bein Sports, and they were incandescent with, like, I couldn't believe what they were watching. They went, it's blatant. I mean, Andy Gray went, it's not said. I mean, he's a fucking metre on side. He went, it's not close. So, these idiots now that run games who think, well, it don't really matter if I don't run it or I don't see it really well. I've got VAR to back me up, because in the old days there was no VAR. Those men on the pitch, referee, linesmen, had to make that decision. Now they're really not bothered whether they make the right decision or not, bottling decisions or getting them wrong on a regular basis, thinking, oh, we'll just go to VAR and they'll fix it for us. They look so stupid in what they do, so incompetent. I mean, it's a job.
What I don't understand about all of this, first of all, you've got a system in place in tennis which works, and it's to do with lines. It's to do with what we're talking about.
At 100 miles an hour sometimes.
Yeah, and
more.
Yeah, so
a tiny ball.
Why don't we use that system to check offside? That would be a better system to check offside, because then it would be clear. It'll be clear.
Well, and they've got goal line. It's like the goal line. They've got goal line technology. It's the same thing.
That's it. The goal line technology. There's no human element.
No grey area.
There's no grey area. If the ball doesn't cross the line, it doesn't beep on the ref's watch. And that's it. That's it. And the human element is gone from that. So the ref can't make a mistake with that. Let's make it no mistake on these offsides now and put something like
Yeah,
automatic to do with VAR. And if you're not going to do that, then you have to adopt this VAR system that football uses. Football is the richest sport in the world. Okay, well, the richest in Europe and most of the world. Some of the American sports make a lot more money as well. I think, I don't know. I'm just saying. Rugby union, the VAR system they use is proper. That, for me, is the best use of the VAR if it's going to be a human, because you hear the conversation, you hear it, and they say, play it in real time, play it, slow it down here, go back a little bit, I want to see it again.
Well, I mean, you've also got it in cricket. If there's an appeal in cricket, you can hear, they show a snickometer, and you can hear the fourth umpire somewhere saying, reverse it back again, play it again, show me this angle, show me that angle.
Why can't
and then he says, I've made my decision, talks to the referee and says, you're on screen, reverse your decision, or stick with your decision.
Stick with your decision, yeah, whatever. It's up to you. Yeah. Stick with the on-field decision. That there's no ambiguity. People don't complain about refereeing decisions in rugby or cricket. It's only football. And I don't want to believe the game's corrupt. I really don't. But you know what?
This is what I'm saying. The
I have to agree. I have to agree with you in the sense that why don't they want us to hear what's going on if there's nothing to hide? Why don't they want it to be transparent? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
The answer is they don't seem to want to provide any integrity to the game. So they don't want to. I mean, VAR came in. Today. And what annoys me is you watch it on the TV, and you've got people that sit there on, as I said, £250,000 a year, probably your Redknapps, your Townsends, and Kelly Cates, and whatever they're on, and they almost want to turn it into a discussion. So they put two people on there. One's pro. For the red card, for example, you had Redknapp saying, well, it's definitely not a red card, and you had Andros Townsend saying, well, it was.
I like that. Redknapp gets a bit feisty sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
If he doesn't agree, he says, "Was it a red card or not? Is it a red card?" It sounds like
it was aggressive. It was dangerous play. How was it dangerous play? The bloke's gone for the ball. His foot literally stretched over the ball.
When that Kelly Cates said, "Oh, the PM or whatever the hell
PGMO."
Yeah. They've released a statement, and they started reading it, and Gary Neville in the background, like Michael. He's like Michael, wasn't he? Going, He's like, ooh. I thought that was funny.
It's not really. Joking aside,
yeah,
it's a terrible, terrible look for the national sport of this country, because at the end of the day, you've got hundreds of Liverpool fans, thousands of Liverpool fans that have spent a lot of money to go to that game, travelled a long way. Some are only up the A10, by the way. But a lot of them have come down the motorway to go to the game. And, it's not a fair, level, clean, clear playing field. It's just, you're watching a game. We've had 4 red cards this season. Jota's second yellow card, he deserved the yellow for that. The first one, the guy's clipped his own feet.
Yeah, I didn't see him touch him, but then Andros Townsend said something so ridiculous. He said, I saw a little bit where he touched his knee. Fuck off. Come on.
This touching a little bit. Football's not basketball. It's not a non-contact sport. This business about, we just clipped him there or he just touched him there. But this is what I'm saying. They want to make the game a huge... They want to make it a spectacle, like wrestling, like American wrestling. They want to make it something, and they want to have. We used to watch football. Okay, look, football's evolved. You get 35 angles, super slow motions, blah blah blah. Back in the day, we'd watch the big match, or you'd watch match of the day. There was one replay. Jimmy Hill,
Jimmy Hill
talking to themselves. and the media, and that was it. Now you've got 5 different people talking 5 different, and it's like it is staged. I think that a lot of what we watch on a regular basis and what they tell us and what they want to contradict themselves with at times is staged. Is there an honest? There is some honest. I mean, I think Graham Souness was one of the most honest frontmen on Sky.
Roy Keane used to be, but now
they're getting rid of him.
Yeah.
They got rid of Souness because they don't want people talking. They don't want yes men. They don't want people telling them the truth. You showed that today to Souness about the yellow card. It was a fucking bollocks. It's not a yellow card. You know what I mean? But they want people that are not working, like being on the TV, like the lights, like the money. Yeah, I mean, how can Andros Townsend tell me that was dangerous play, that first yellow card? You know what I mean? No, sorry, the red card.
It's disappointing because he's played the game.
That's what I mean. He's played the game, and he's telling me that Curtis Jones, I mean, you could see there's nothing in what he did. He stretched his leg, he's gone slightly over the ball, and because his foot's travelled over the ball and the ball's rolled, the natural thing is the ball's going to kind of take your foot with you. And he's landed on, it's just, I don't know, mate. Very, very, like Klopp said afterwards, how does that help us? I mean, the same referee, by the way, refereed Wolves against Man United when Onana came out and took 2 men out to clear a cross.
Yeah.
Didn't get the penalty. And then the next day they came out and so for me.
And Klopp referenced that in his thing. He said, Wolves get a point. We're not going to get a point. And he's right. Look,
I would rather.
Gary Neville said, I'm disappointed with Klopp for saying that. What are you disappointed for? He's telling you the truth. It doesn't help us. All right, the refs have said they made a mistake. Good. We knew it was a mistake. They were under pressure. They had to release that because it was clear. Other TV channels. I mean, you see, the difference now with football, with, especially Sky Sports trying to set the narrative, they can't do it because there's too many football TV companies that are watching that game live and they're all looking at it saying, no way, man, that's not offside. And that's the problem they have when they're trying to be corrupt like that, or if they're trying to be corrupt. I think it's more incompetence.
No, I don't think it can't be incompetence because how can the linesman get it wrong, the referee get it wrong, and the bloke sitting there watching it on a computer, like we watched it on the TV, get it wrong? And there's about 4 of them. He's not just one person. He doesn't sit there on his own. There's about 4 of them, and I've not heard or seen any person, and they knew it was major news because the way they were talking when Gary Neville came down before she said, we've got a statement, they were kind of anticipating that something drastic was going to be said or done because it was blatantly obvious. Now, the Premier League have got to come out and make a statement and fix this mess because I maintain that we live in a country of 66 odd million people, whatever it is. And 14 men referee the same games every week. To me, that's a problem. That's a problem. There's got to be, in this country, enough good referees to referee better games than football. Now, the problem we've created is a clique between these referees and these players. First name terms. Do you know what? Don't believe it don't happen. I don't know. Kane's given me a shirt for my grandson. I think I made a mistake last week or a couple of weeks ago when I refereed, Liverpool against Chelsea. This week I was a bit haste with Salah 2 weeks ago. This week I'll give him. That's got to come away. There's too much of this. The referees back in the day were
again. I go to rugby, or I go to the World Cup. These tournaments, they don't allow English referees to referee England. Yeah, so I think a solution is in England.
Yeah, I've said it before. Just
Italian referees.
Yeah, in Italy you have Germans. Just turn them all over the place.
Yeah,
but they don't want to do that. if someone doesn't want to fix something that looks broken, then you have to ask yourself, why don't they want to fix it? There's a reason behind it.
And again,
now, it doesn't particularly mean that it's a gambling, corrupt aspect, but perhaps it's the Premier League telling them that you've got to. I mean, I read something today from John Aldridge on Twitter, and he said, let me see if I can find it. He said in 1988, where's that statement from John Aldridge? Where was it? Let's have a look, see if I can find John Aldridge. And he references a referee. He references an old referee from back in the day, John Aldridge. And he said he told him what the game was. John Aldridge said, back in the 90s, when he was playing football, and there was a decision that that didn't go his way, he spoke to the referee after, when the referee retired, and he said to him, the game's bent, the game's corrupt. Now, if that is genuinely the case, there's a problem in the game. There's a big problem in the game. Just trying to get this up. There's a big problem in the game. You can't have these kind of situations where it just.
Well, look, like you say, there's solutions to fix this if they want to fix it. It's easy.
Exactly. If they,
it's easy. It's easy to fix. You take the human element out of VAR. That's it. Done. All the human does is turn on the system, and that's it. Let the VAR deal with it. Let the automated system, let the AI, let the technology, whatever it is we're using, let that determine what offside is. You could take the linesman out of it and have keep the linesman in, but you could have one of these things, motion cameras that follow the ball. Yeah.
In today's world, you can have whatever you want. Surely, in today's world, I mean,
you can have something which tracks the movement of the ball all the way up each side of the pitch, and when it's offside, it will beep, and that's it. And then we know. Do you know what I mean? And simple as that. Or use the tennis system, or use the rugby system, or the cricket. Do something different, because this shit is not working. It's obvious.
It's ruining the game.
And that thing with the Wolves game, when they should have got a red card and a penalty for that Onana, what he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
They came out the next day, we're really sorry, we made a mistake here. And Klopp is 100% right, and I agree with him. I stand right next to him, and even probably would have used different words, but he even alluded to it, saying he'll get fined. It's too expensive for him to say anything. And it's true, because it doesn't help us. It doesn't help Liverpool. In the last 4-5 seasons, forget last season, 3 times we lost the league to Man City. 2 of those were by 1 point. Now, I'm not saying we're going to lose the title by 1 point this season, but there you go. That's the point right there.
Yeah, but I mean,
and also it happened so early in the game. It happened when it was 0-0. That moment, we were down to 10 men and it was 0-0. And if we'd have gone 1-0 up, the game's different. Do we know if Tottenham score? Maybe Tottenham go and win the game. Who knows? But they may not score when they scored, and the game would have changed. The butterfly effect, the ripples in the pond. It would have been a different outcome, and that's the problem. So it's very frustrating. But forget about that shit now. I mean, let's talk about the game a bit. I mean, for me, I think we played well. We were, with 11 men. I mean, I was watching the game and we were good. We looked good. We had them where we wanted them, really. They were dangerous too. They had their moments, as they would. They're a good side. Let's not, they're not rubbish. They're good. But we would have beaten them 11-11. I think we would have won that game.
I think you can see what we offered. I mean, we would have 11 against 11. You would have had Jota, Nunes, Elliott, perhaps.
Because before Jota got sent off, Nunes was going to come on.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's what we had, and that's what's worked for us up till now this season. 60th, 70th minute, bring on these big players, and we make a change now. Spurs were playing against 9 men, and he took off Son and Madison.
Yeah, he brought on
Oliver Skip and fucking who was the other one?
And Ben Davis.
Yeah, Ben Davis. I was looking at this game, I'm thinking, mate, you're playing against fucking 9 men. You're bringing Oliver Skip on.
You know, when Oliver Skip came on, I said to myself, I said, please, we can't lose if Skip comes on now. We can't, you see Madison off and Son off.
He's playing against 9 men, and what winds me up is they're playing against 9 men, and he takes off Son, takes off Madison. And I'm like, you're playing against 9 men, and you've taken off 2 attacking football. Arguably, Madison, the player that opens the can for them every time, and Son, and you bring on fucking Ben Davis and
now
Skip.
Now they're saying he's a tactical genius, isn't
and
he?
now they're coming out saying, "Oh yeah, did this," and oh fuck you know, it's just no. Listen, the game. I thought obviously they had moments being the home side. I thought we was always in control of that game, or we were never in trouble.
Until when we went down to 9 men, we were in trouble. Then
no, but I'm talking about a level playing field, and that before all that shit happened, we were the better side, and I didn't really worry for a moment, to be honest, that we were going to win the game.
Just before half-time, Diaz, man, he should have scored there.
He should have scored.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's
Warren Gapco, I think he's got a bit of a problem there, Gapco, with the knee. I read something that he left with a knee brace on and crutches.
Well, let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, I'll be very surprised if it's not. I'll be very surprised. It didn't look good at the time.
Yeah, it looked like he slapped something, didn't it?
Don't know how he ran off with it, though. The only thing that kind of encouraged me a little bit was that he kind of walked off or played on.
Yeah, he played on. So, hopefully it's not.
Hopefully it's only precautionary. But it could be. Well, the way our luck is this season, it's probably going to be a 6 month. I don't know. I just very, very distasteful kind. You look forward to a game of football. In fact, it was a great game, end to end. Before. And do they not take anything into consideration? I mean, like you watch and we talk about the refs and what have you. The inconsistency in the refereeing. In another game, that Curtis Jones thing will be it might not even be a yellow card. It might be a warning and say, "Do you know what, son? Be careful, blah blah blah," and play on. Today it was just, and they've ruined the game of football. They're just consistently ruining games of football. I mean, I was listening to that Richard Keys earlier when they spoke about our game, and he said, at Everton today against Luton for the Calvert-Lewin goal, they took 3 minutes and 20 seconds VAR to decide whether or not it was a goal. 3 minutes and 20 seconds before they awarded the goal. He goes, this one, they've given it in a matter of, well, they haven't given it in a matter of
seconds.
If. And they it just kills the game. The whole thing. I mean, these players, these managers, they train all week. They set up systems. They set up formations. They set up plans. Plans for what happens if we go 1-0 down, and what happens if we go down to 10 men. Because they don't discuss these things. These things are discussed. Maybe they don't discuss what happens if we go down to 9 men. But
maybe Liverpool needs to start planning for that.
They certainly discuss, emergency situations or things that need to change. And how can everything that you plan for in a week go out the window?
Yeah,
due to
it was cruel today. It was cruel. Matip,
very cruel.
Matip didn't deserve that. He didn't.
No, but he went with his wrong leg as well. I mean,
he didn't. But he didn't deserve that.
I said to my son when we were watching it. I said to Andrew, we're not that team. We're not that team that have got that luck where something's gonna happen and we're gonna end up losing this game.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's just look, the league. Something's got to happen. This could be a moment of change for the league somehow. I mean, that game finished, and I said, you know what? They need to suspend the league now. Stop it. Stop the league. The Premier League, the Referees Association, etc. need to sort this mess out because it's ruining football on a week. Not just Liverpool, by the way. We talk about Liverpool because it's our team and we see more of it, but it happens every day or every week at a different club. And I've heard the Fulham manager, Silva, come out a few times and moan about them. I've heard Heckingbottom. I mean, at Spurs a few weeks ago when Sheffield United were 1-0 up until injury time. There was some ridiculous decisions in that game. So it needs clearing big time because, the players that play the game, the fans that love the game, that pay to watch the game, that pay to watch it on TV, it's leaving a very sour taste in a lot of mouths, and it needs fixing because we've had a good start. We wouldn't have lost that game today, 11 against 11. We probably actually wouldn't have lost if it was 10 against 11. We probably would have won that game with 10 men, bringing on Nunes or someone like that. But we could have done, not really against Newcastle. But I mean, 9 men. It's just, I don't know. It's
a shame. It's a shame. Look, we didn't get anything today. We didn't get anything, and we didn't. But this is some weeks, some games. This is how it goes. It's just unfortunate that the offside goal, which wasn't offside. That forget all the red cards. Forget them.
I mean, but we've had our fair share.
We can accept those red cards, but
we've had our fair share. We've had our fair share of shit, though. I mean, McAllister getting sent off, and then it getting rescinded.
Yeah.
We've had game. Van Dijk was could not have been on another day.
Yeah, 50
may not have been given. But McAllister going off, that cost us that was against Chelsea, wasn't it?
No, McAllister went off against Bournemouth. Yeah. And that was at 1-1 or something like that. That was early in the game. And we played 60-odd minutes with 10 men and we won 3-1. The Van Dijk one going off early. About 25 minutes into the game, he went off. Curtis Jones, again, around a similar sort of time, getting sent off. Yeah, it's
not been going our way. We've had a lot of them.
Well, hopefully we've had our bit now and then.
Yes, but you just want a bit of consistency. You don't want. I mean, today you're looking forward to that game. It's one of the games of the season for us. Really,
really looking forward to it. Man City lost,
and then
thinking, we win today, top of the league. But
15 minutes into the game, 25 minutes into the game, and just ruin a game of football for But
I enjoyed what we did. We didn't lose that game, if you know what I mean.
No, we didn't. No,
it sounds silly me saying it. We lost the result.
Yeah, of course we lost. We've got no point. We came out as fighters. We came out as heroes of that game, really.
Mm-hmm.
And we've played 7 games. Is it now 7 games?
Yeah,
31 games. I mean, what are we showing? We're showing a lot of passion, a lot of heart,
a lot of energy,
desire, a lot of energy, and
a lot of quality as well.
A lot of quality, and it will bode well for us. In the long run.
I still think good things are going to happen this season, despite today.
Yeah, I mean today
was a knock, but it was a knock in a sense that was a bit out of our control. Some of it.
Yeah, it wasn't down to us that we lost that game today. And, we said there was enough there today. I mean, you saw some lovely moments. Salah.
Maybe Jota. He shouldn't have jumped in after that. He got booked. Don't jump in.
Yeah, that was silly.
That was a bit silly. That was a bit of a. He should know better. He's experienced. He shouldn't have done that. If that was like a young kid doing that, we'd understand. But not him. He's experienced, and he's not that type of angry player anyway. So I'm a bit surprised he did that, but I don't know.
I mean, we've had McAllister on yellow cards very early and managed the game today as well. He was on a yellow. Trent against Newcastle got booked very early. Very silly of him, really. Very silly to fight to get that second one. But sometimes, having played a level of the game, you lose your head a little bit as well. When things are like everything's going against you,
Yeah.
We're already down to 10 men. He clearly didn't touch that. Well, he might have touched him, but it wasn't a yellow card, that first one. So he's wound up about that as well.
He may have got that because I think before he made a foul where he brought someone down. He did actually bring a player down, and the ref let him off.
There's no rule. They make the rules up as they go along.
Anyway, disappointing. I'm not going to watch Match of the Day because I don't want to watch that shit again. Just going to depress me.
Watch it, and the sad thing is, if you did watch it, the talking point will be one thing.
Yeah, the offside goal that wasn't given.
So that tells you where we stand. Tonight's headline on Match of the Day, I don't know, Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1. I'm just trying to think. Wolves 2, Man City 1. Are we the headline game tonight? We could well be. I think we might be first on. Liverpool,
Man United losing.
Yeah, we could be first. It wouldn't. Yeah, that's only one. But we might be the first game. We might be the headline game on Match of the Day tonight, and the headline's going to be that blue report from the PGMO OL about why they didn't give the goal. But
all right, mate. Well, look, it's done now.
Tough to take, but we will move on.
All right, brother.
Take care, mate. Bye.
God bless. Take care.
Take care.